If you want to get an MBA level education without paying the price tag of an MBA, here's what you do. Go out and get 5 books on personal development. Get 5 books on money management and investing. Get 5 books on starting a business if you're an entrepreneur, or 5 books on growing in your career if you are not an entrepreneur. Get 5 books on leadership, and then get 5 books on biographies from people who are successful that you admire. Once you get these 25 books, I want you to read them. And once you read these books, start applying the knowledge that you learn. I guarantee you, if you read these 25 books over the next 12 months, you are going to be in a completely different mindset and a completely different skill set for you to see different levels of success in the rest of your life. And if you start this in your 20s, well, not only does your money compound, but your knowledge compounds as well, which is going to allow you not only to learn more, but live a much better and more fulfilling life. Number 7 is buy something to advance your health. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about is if you want to live a happy and fulfilling life, you have to live a fit life. And the way you live a fit life is by understanding the 4 different fitnesses in your life. I call this my quadrifit theory, where I believe there are 4 different fitnesses in life. You have to be physically fit, mentally fit, spiritually fit, and financially fit. And this is where you want to be investing in these different types of fitnesses. What this means is if you are obese, if you're not eating healthy, if you know that you're not physically healthy, take care of this sooner rather than later, because everything compounds. Money compounds, knowledge compounds, but bad habits also compound. If you're physically unhealthy, this is the only vehicle you get. Your body is the only vehicle you get. Take care of it. Invest in it. Get a gym membership. Get a nutritional coach. Get a trainer. Get help to be more physically fit. If you're mentally unfit, if you're surrounded by toxic people, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're unhappy, invest in this. Get a therapist, get a consultant, go out and get other therapies, get other help to help you on your mental health side of things. On your spiritual fitness, this doesn't have to be religious, this is your fulfillment. What is the reason for you getting up every single morning? And especially as you start to make more money, this is going to become so much more important, because you can have $1 million in the bank, but if you have no sense of purpose, well, now who cares? Right? And so this is where now understanding what is your sense of purpose? What are you here for? What is the reason for getting out of bed every single morning? If you need help with this, invest in a coach to help you with this. Same with your financial fitness. Invest in your financial fitness. Invest in your financial well-being. Read books. Take classes. Invest time into your financial health and your financial education, because most of this stuff are things we never learned in school. And you want to know, how do you invest your money? What are good ways to invest? How do you live below your means? How do you now go out to earn more money? Invest in your financial education. Number 8 is buy a wedding ring. Now this one, let me give you a little bit of a background on. I got married in my late 20s. And as somebody who grew up in a traditional Indian house, let me tell you, the Indian weddings are expensive. And I knew early on in my life that I wanted to pay for my wedding, and that mindset helped me to start planning to save money for things like my wedding ring before I even met my wife. So if you know you want to get married, you also know that getting married comes with expenses like a wedding, if that's something that you want, and a wedding ring. And if you know these are parts of a marriage, well, might as well start saving for that and planning for that, even if you haven't met your partner yet, because if you plan on meeting a partner one day, you know that these expenses are going to come up, so might as well start planning for it sooner rather than later. Because what you don't want to do is either A, figure out, we can't afford the wedding of your dreams. We can't afford the wedding of my dreams. Or even worse, B, let's go into debt to fund the wedding of our dreams. Don't do that. If you know you want to get married, start planning for it sooner rather than later. Put some additional cash aside, especially if you're young, to start planning for this, because now you're thinking ahead. You know that you're going to have this expense in the future, and now you're starting to put this money aside to fund that when the time comes. And I don't talk too much about this, but let me just add this in there right now. A good partner is also a very good investment, because a good partner is going to help you want to achieve your goals, and a good partner is going to want to work with you on your financial goals together. Maybe they don't come from the same, I want to become financially successful mindset as you, but they need to work with you to get on the same page, and understanding now that if you want to have a good life partner, you got to be on the same page financially as well. Now, they might not be at the same page today. That's okay. Most people are not at that page of, I want to become financially successful. Most people are in that mindset of, who cares? Let's just spend money. That's normal. But this is where you want to work with your partner and talk to them about, hey, Let's work together to become wealthy so we can have more nice things in the future. And now understanding how can you speak your partner's language. If your partner is a guy, talk to them with more logic. If your partner is a female, talk to them with more emotional side of things, because guess what? Female brains work more emotionally, male brains work more logically. Understand how to speak with your partner. If you're looking for a good book on this, I recommend a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which talks about how men and women think and talk differently. Number 9, spend some money on what touches the ground. Somebody told me this a while back and it stuck with me, and I've seen the impact of this now in my 30s. Things that touch the ground include your shoes, your tires, and your bed. And these are 3 places where it makes sense for you to invest some money into. Talking about shoes first. I used to run my shoes into the ground. Well, if we go before that, I used to be really into shoes, but my parents didn't want to buy me a $100 pair of Jordans, so I used to buy $20 or $25 fake Jordans from China. I don't remember how I got them, but somehow I found a way to get these $25 fake Jordans from China. Then, when I realized that I don't want to keep spending money on shoes because I was trying to be financially smart, I ran my shoes into the ground where I had holes in the shoes, and then I would duct tape my shoes because I didn't want to spend any money on shoes. Then I started learning about investing your money into things that touch the ground, and I started buying nicer shoes. Now, I love walking. It's a weird thing that I like doing, but I love walking. I can spend hours walking at a time. And when I was walking in shoes that were not very good, I realized that, well, my knees would start to hurt and my back would start to hurt, and it was just weird. And I was like, why am I feeling these pains? Like, I'm physically fit, I'm doing all these things. But then I started investing in nicer shoes, and that was kind of weird for me. Like, why would I want to pay $120 for a pair of shoes? That's a lot of money. But then I started doing that, and I started to realize, whoa, immediately my knees stopped hurting. I started to walk a lot better, and I could walk easier. And so now I buy nicer shoes, and I buy shoes much more often, which is weird to me because before I'd buy shoes for years and never change them. Now I'm buying multiple pairs of shoes a year because I put a lot of miles on my shoes. Same with my bed. I spent a lot of money on the bed that me and my wife sleep on, and it helps. If you can get a good night of sleep, well, then you can get up and be more energized and do your work even better. And even when your tires, especially if you're living in a colder state, I'm from Detroit, if you're living in a colder state where you're seeing snow on the ground, especially have good tires, because if you don't have good tires, well, you're risking your life, okay? So get some good tires, get a good bed, get a good pair of shoes, because that can help you in all different parts of your life. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.